back to the range. Tom here. Today we're doing this 96 Porsche Carrera. I probably butchered that, and I do apologize for all those Porsche fans out there. I don't do a lot of Porsches. I'm not a big Porsche person, but why don't we go ahead and let's get started and see what I came out with. You know, I found this casting, a while back. I can't remember where. I really haven't really seen it anywhere else, but I thought it'd be a pretty cool build to do eventually. But why not else do it for Maple Leaf Customs' third annual Porsche Invitational build? So, I thought about it. I still don't have a clue who I'm going to send it to, because it's a pay it forward build. You build a car and you send it to somebody. So, who knows? I might send it to somebody that I already know and already have their address, or I might send it to a new person. Never know. But I knew I wanted to go a little bit different, and that's why I got these wheels. I can't remember where I got them from, but I wanted to make sure these big wheels were in the back, so I had to do a lot of sanding, a lot of dremeling, just trying to make the wheel wells a lot bigger to fit these bigger tires. Unfortunately, this thing turned out not to be a roller, but that's okay. The tires fit and it looks good. And, I had to trim the base a little bit, because it wouldn't have been able to fit the big tires if I would have just left them as is. So, I didn't really have to do a lot. The axles fit fine. It was a little tight, but that's okay. Like I said, this is going to be going to somebody. Don't know yet who it's going to be, but soon. But, I do a lot of mock-up in my build because I want to make sure something fits, make sure it works good. I don't always have the wheels already picked out for what I'm going to do, but I want to make sure they fit. So, depending on what I do will depend on the wheels. Normally, if I know the wheels are already fit, I'll throw those kind of wheels on there. But if I don't know the fit, I'll do a lot of mock-up. And I picked some really nice wheels. These wheels look fantastic on this thing. I'm going back to a Dremel tool, because I'm still not quite done with both wheel wells. I'm still working on one. And it was a while. It took me a long while to do both wheel wells. I did a lot off camera. I had this little Dremel tool, piece that I was using to cut it out. It only did so much. I think I got to get me a new one. This one's probably worn down because it wasn't really cutting all that great. And when I first got that little part, it would cut like nobody's business. So I think I need to get me a new set of Dremel tool bits. And here it is. It's not completely done with the wheel wells, but it's starting to get there, and it's looking really good. The base is sitting really nice inside the casting. I was really liking the way it was heading. I just know it kind of looks like one of those tuned Hot Wheels, with the big wheels and the slanted front end, and that kind of deal. But, no big deal. It's still a nice little casting, and, trying to figure out how I was going to paint it, what I was going to paint it, and what colors. So I just kind of while I was cleaning it up, getting it ready to, now that I got the wheel wells done, I decided to go ahead and clean it up, start getting to polish it up. And, when it came to the colors, it was just kind of coming across me. I had some certain colors I was thinking, and I was trying to replicate a paint job I seen on a Porsche a little while back, but I think I did a little bit. I'd have to say I did very different design than what I was trying to. And honestly, I like this one a lot better. There's four different colors on here. Well, technically counting the base white, 5. So there's 5 different paints on this car. And I just wanted it to look neat, retro style, right, with a race style theme kind of deal. I don't usually do a lot all my polishing on camera. I usually try to leave that off camera because I don't really like to show it. All I'm doing here is honestly, there's just a little bit on the tip of my tube of flitz. All I'm doing is just dabbing I'm not squeezing the tube. I'm just dabbing it around the car to get it kind of smooth out there. Yeah, you don't really need a lot of polish. Some people do polish more than once, but sometimes you really don't need to. I'm getting the hang of the whole polishing thing, and it's coming along nicely, I'd have to say. I've been watching a lot of different videos and watching a lot of different people doing the polishing and doing the cleaning and everything else. So I wanted to make it to where, I only had to do it once, but to be honest with you, I ended up getting a bunch of fingerprints on it, so I had to polish it again. I had to move it over to my gloves and stuff, and, go from there. But, that's where you learn. You learn as you go, and some people, that's the only way they can learn is by hands-on. So instead of somebody trying to tell me what to do, I'm just, doing it as I go. And, I'm starting to like it. I don't polish all my castings, just certain ones. And just trying to make them a little bit better. And, the shine on this thing came out really nice, though. I was really happy with it. It looks pretty shiny. But, all in all, it was just kind of one of those builds that it didn't really take me that long to build because I didn't really do a lot of custom stuff to it. I thought about putting a wheelie bar on it and all that jive, but I ended up scratching that. But what you're seeing here is a Wicked Metallic Aluminum, I think's the name of the color, from Createx. After I did the white base coat, I put this coat over it because I was wanting to kind of do some tape designs, try to make it look really cool. And I was really happy because both sides look the exact same. So I was really, really happy with the way this paint job turned out because I took my time on it, and then when I put it down, I got the tape exactly where I wanted it set. I would go over with my finger and start, pushing down the tape and, making sure it was in everywhere so it didn't have no paints bleeding through or anything like that. So it was just one of those things that, just kind of wanted to make sure it happened. And, I didn't know all what was going on with this at the time. I was kind of getting it in my mind what it was going to look like. I wasn't for sure how it was going to look, but it turned out better than I expected it was going to. It turned out so much better. I got it done really quick, and what I'm just making sure, like I said, I'm just pressing down where all the tape's at just to make sure that it's where it needs to be. It's not gonna come up anywhere. It's not gonna anything like that. So after that, I took a metallic charcoal color, painted over the silver, taped off this, the back part. And like I said, I was trying to go with a certain retro look, I guess. But, and I think I succeeded, honestly. It's a race kind of thing because I ended up putting a couple decals on, not very many, total of 4. Very small ones. You don't really notice them right off the bat. But it didn't take away from the paint job. It didn't take away from the look of the car. So I was pretty happy with that. It was, coming together exactly how I was picturing it in my head. And, at first, I was kind of worried about how the color was going to look. And how everything was going to turn out. Make sure, the colors blended well together. They looked well together. I was trying to do some other paint ideas on another car earlier today. but it didn't really turn out the way I wanted it to. But this one is looking perfect right now. Like, I mean, absolute perfect. Not a flaw in any of the paint. Everything was smooth. It turned out really nice and shiny. After I got the gloss clear on it, and went from there. I didn't do a lot of taping. And then, when I got to I painted the pearl blue. And what I'm doing is I'm actually masking off around the hood, because I'm gonna paint the blue, paint the hood a different color, and I'm also gonna paint the back half of the car a different color. But what I'm doing is I'm making sure tape's covering every bit of blue that I don't want covered up. So that means I was taping the inside of the car, I taped all the outside, using different size tapes to actually get it to where, everything was covered that needed to be covered. And I'm really happy with the results of this. For the lucky person that this car is going to be going to, you got one heck of a nice Porsche here. And, who knows? I might try to do another retro paint design on another Porsche later on down the road. But, like I said, this was an older Porsche. I'm not talking about like ancient or classic or an antique or anything like that. It was just an older model. So I just like the look of it a little bit better. So what I was doing was, I wanted to give it that look, so I took a pearl black. And after everything, I pearl blacked the back. As you see here, I'm detailing up the tail lights. And while I'm doing the details on the tail lights, I'm actually looking at a picture of the taillights of this actual car, because I didn't know if it was a one entire long tail light or if it was a pieces of tail light, but it happened to be one single tail light across the back of the car. And I'm doing the best I can to make sure, I'm hand painting, trying to make sure I don't get any paint anywhere else, because I didn't want it to kind of smear over to the black and, kind of looks like, whatever. But I'm looking at the picture and I'm just making sure I'm getting the right, size of it. It looks close. I was happy with it. So, I started going on the front, took a silver and did the headlights, because white just kind of looked a little different. Did the little turn signals in the front. Also it had a little set of white lights, or like fog lights or brights or whatever it was in the front. So I took the silver paint after I got done, checking it out. Took the silver paint and did those lights in the silver, and it's starting to come together real nice. So why don't we go ahead and look what we started off with? Nice little 96 Porsche. I'm not even going to attempt to say the other word because I'll just mess it up. Nice little casting. Hated the wheels, hated the paint scheme, paint job, but nice car altogether. And what I was wanting to do to it was not how it turned out, but I love the way it turned out. So why don't we go ahead and check out the final results?